Hardcore Minecraft, a genre saturated with creators each trying their hand at the perfect start. These even include going to the end and beating the game at the start. This is a totally fine way of playing, by the way. Each of these creators that I'm showing are great at making captivating videos, but I wouldn't exactly call it a start. And while I'm kind of branding this episode to be a start of my own, allow me to set some expectations. I will not be going to the end. I won't even be going to the nether. This start of mine will remain in the overworld and will equip me to enter the late game with everything I'll ever need. I can explain more as I go along, but for now, let's jump into my first hardcore world. This is a pretty nice spawn. Already see 1, 2, 3. There's a 4th wood type in the back, spruce. That's very, very good. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna head to the top of this hill here to try and see if I can find something a little bit better. Kind of hoping for a village, to be honest. And what do you know? That is absolutely perfect. Just gonna borrow a bit of their bread here. And by borrow, I mean take, because they are definitely not gonna get this back. Now, the first thing that I need to do is chop down a tree. Wooden pickaxe. Stone pickaxe and a stone axe. I'm gonna get a birch sapling. There we go. I honestly really like the spawn area as well. I think I might try and set up shop somewhere around there, to be honest. Yeah, I think this area right here is gonna be a really good place. All right, let me just set up a few things here. Next thing to do is grab some better tools. So let's do that. Perfect, a little bit more equipped. All right, there we go. There's my full set of iron armor. There's an iron pick. Time to get in there. Wow, that is a lot of mobs. Well, that's not good. Hey, diamonds, nice. First diamonds. And there's the stone pickaxe gone. Okay, back home, and we had a seriously good haul. 33 diamonds is really good, so I'm pretty happy with that. All right, the next thing that I want to do is grab a couple more wood types, and immediately I know that there's a cherry grove biome over here. There's also some spruce wood, not really sure. Oh, over there. I see that there's a pillager outpost over there. That will come in handy, I'm sure, later. Anyways, for now, all I gotta do is just grab some cherry stuff. Perfect, there's my cherry sapling. I also see, is that a dark oak forest? That's perfect, there's another wood type. There's also a pale garden. I think that also has another wood type. So I have the spruce sapling now. Next up is the dark oak. Okay, I'm gonna cut this down and hopefully I will get 4 saplings. Ah, 4. Next up is the pale garden wood, whatever that wood is called. Okay, I need to find like an isolated tree, kind of like this one. Perfect. And that's 4. Okay, I am leaving. Again, a really good excursion. Once I had some basic gear and a few wood types, before I started any crazy project, I wanted to build something small to commemorate my humble beginnings. Alright, this is going to be the general size of little house that I'm trying to make. Actually, I might make this a little bit shorter. Next thing I want to do is kind of add some walls. Not really sure what I'm trying to do for the walls. I might just do cobblestone. I'm going to split the walls up with some cobblestone stairs and andesite just to break it up a bit, make it a little bit worn down. Alright, now that these walls are kind of done in, I'm thinking I'm gonna have a slabbed roof. Kind of like this shape. Not sure if I'm in love with this. Maybe I should raise it up a half slab so it's not so far down. Nice. I like this. It's not very sophisticated, but it works for me. Now I just need to wrap it around the whole structure. And now for the roof. I don't want to have just any old roof. I think I want to have some deep slate. Oh, and there goes my iron pickaxe. How does this roof look? Pretty good. The starting house is now complete. The next thing that I want to do is actually find a good spot to settle like my main base. I know that I just made this, but I kind of want to keep this world kind of living and alive. I don't want to make something and tear it down straight after. Like, I want there to be history to this world. So, first house, history. Now that I've got the basics down, let me explain a little bit more about what I want to do. I'm going to build something big. This build is going to have space for wood, animals, crops, a mine, even every single villager trade. It is a massive project, and it's going to take me over 200 hours of work. And that doesn't even include editing. So if you're enjoying this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Now, the first step in this process is to build the wall that surrounds the area. So let's get that started. Now I'm just gonna make a bit of an outline. I'm gonna mark out the 4 bounds in which my base is gonna go. So I'm just gonna do that really quick. Now that that's done, I'm just going to outline the general shape that I want this structure to be. Okay, I'm kind of thinking that each wall section is going to be 9 blocks long. The only sections I'm going to design are a straight wall like this, a diagonal wall, as well as an entrance section, which will also be 9 blocks like this, I think. There we go. So this is the center pillar, and then this whole thing is going to be the entrance section, which is, I like that. Nice and grand and large. And yeah, this is kind of what the diagonal section is gonna be like. Why don't I just continue doing this, and then I will see how I like things. Something is not lining up. That's not good. Okay, time to recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, as long as this is 9 blocks apart, we are all good to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, perfect. Now I just need to decide what I want to build my wall out of. Honestly, spruce is my go-to. Now I'm just gonna plant a few trees. Right, and hopefully, while those are growing, I can figure out some wall design. Alright, so this idea involves spruce, of course, but it also involves pale oak wood. So we shall see how this pans out. So I build up 2 towers kind of like this. Next thing I do is fill in the middle here with some pale oak. If I had some stripped logs in here, that might be good. Yeah. So I think we're gonna add 3 blocks up surrounding every pillar like this. Then I think I'll strip them all, if it lets me. Good heavens. Actually, maybe I'm gonna make these the log things. Yeah, here we go. The wood. Perfect. That looks great. And now I'll add 2 in between like this. Add a layer of spruce planks. And now I'm going to make some sort of arcing shape on this. Like that. Perfect. There we go. For now, I think we're just going to expand this upwards. We got pillagers over there. That's not good. Are they frozen? What is going on? They're like broken. Okay, I gotta go sleep now. Holy smokes. It seems as though the pillagers are frozen in place. That's pretty fantastic. Look at that. Never mind, they are not frozen anymore. Now I'm gonna add some type of, basically the wavy bit, but on the top or roof here. Another upside down stair and a spruce plank. And then let me just raise this up 1 more. That looks rather uninteresting. I think I'm gonna have an upside down stair here, and then a block on top of that. And then I think I'll have a slab right next to this, and then a regular block. Yeah, I think it looks okay. I think I need to extend this a bit higher, but other than that, pretty happy with it. That looks pretty good to me. Cap these off with some slabs. Nice, that looks really good. I think we could benefit from adding something on these pillars and maybe something in between there. All right, yeah, that looks pretty good. Nice, so this is what my wall is going to look like. And I'm pretty happy with this, to be honest. I quite like this. So now the next thing that I have to do is repeat this all the way around the perimeter. But just by building this one thing, that already took up pretty much all the resources that I had. So I gotta go collect some resources. Well, that took much longer than I was expecting. I've collected many stacks of things. I have a full chest of spruce wood, almost a full chest of pale oak wood, and then just a number of other bits and bobs in this chest. So I am all geared up. So, gonna continue building the wall. Let's do it. from this view, it is looking pretty fantastic if I do say so myself. I'm very excited to get the other side of this wall finished. So let me just go do that really quick. All right, look at all of this. We are almost done with the wall. The only thing that's left is to put the finishing touches. And this includes, as you'll see in my hotbar, the brick walls and the lanterns on top. You'll see that I've already started doing this, and I've finished the outside ring, but the only thing that's left is the inside portion. So it's about halfway of this inside portion here that's still due to be done. Something that I've needed for these mud brick walls is wheat. And so I started a little bit of a small farm over here. Let me just run over and show you. Here it is. I started a small farm over here just to gather some wheat as I've been building up this wall, and I've been harvesting it every so often when it's done. But this hasn't given me nearly enough mud brick walls to finish the whole thing, so I'm going to move on kind of to the next stage while I just wait for the wheat to grow. And this next stage is going to be terraforming the area, and there's honestly not a lot of stuff to do. All I want to do is just make everything flat and kind of look a bit nicer than it does. Alright, I'm tired of terraforming the ground. Now it's time to get rid of the buildings, unfortunately. And there's the last building demolished. All we're left with now is a huge open flat area for me to do whatever I please with. And I think that we can see there's a little bit of a chicken problem in here. Sorry, buddy. That really cleaned things up. I have almost a stack of chicken and I feel terrible, but it's okay. The chickens will return once again. I then moved on to building some animal pens, but I quickly switched it up because I didn't want to start anything without having a plan first. And so now I kind of want to make a layout of what I'm planning to do. So let me just do that really quick as well. This is the layout that I am kind of going for. And layout for what, I hear you asking? Well, to answer your question, this is going to be a villager trading center. And this will house all of the villagers that I'll ever need to trade for literally anything I need. But in order to build this that I'm thinking, I'm gonna need a lot more wood than just this. So first thing I'm gonna do is make a building to store all of the wood that I'm going to gather. So this area has been my tree cutting down area in the past, but what I want to do is transition my tree felling area from here through the wall onto this side here. Much like every other build, I'm going to have to plan out where this is going to go. I think here is good. Yeah, I reckon that's a good spot for it. I'm imagining like I have a main storage building right here, and then this is kind of like the lumber processing area. This is kind of the height that I want it. Now I think I'm just gonna fill in the walls with oak and see how that looks. This looks very, very plain, but I think after I add a bit more ornamentation, it'll look much, much better. I think I'm gonna add some leaves on the bottom here. I think I'll do the same, or not the same, but a very similar fence ornamentation to the wall here. Ooh, actually I think I'm gonna go one higher. I feel like I need something in the middle though. Kinda looks like a bow tie. I think I'll keep it for now. I think it'll look good. Right, now it is time to work on the roof. I've already done a line of stairs here, so it's going to be arching this way from this side to this side. Something that I need to work on is the joining ornaments between this pillar and this pillar here. I'm thinking all I gotta do is just add a couple of full planks and a stair, and that's about it. Cool, and now let me just make the arch. Perfect, there is the arch. Now I need to make something that fills in this arch. I'm thinking of something as simple as just a couple slabs and a stair. Maybe adding trapdoors on these sides here. And then after that, I just fill it in with regular planks, and that's it. Right, so the roof is pretty much done. I just need to finish up putting this chimney here. I just need a campfire on top, but I will do that at a later date. Next thing to do is kind of finish up the interior here. And I think I'm gonna add another level even to this build. So this is gonna be like the storage area, like on the bottom level for all of the quick access wood types. First and foremost, spruce, of course, is going to be here. And then I'm gonna have two other ones. I'm thinking it's gonna be pale oak and oak. Right, so this is the beginning of the storage. It's not automatic, it's manual storage, but honestly, I think there's a bit more charm to manual labor, let's just say. I want to have a line of chests going this way, because as far as I know, there are how many wood types? I think there's 10 wood types, including bamboo, that is, in the overworld. So this should be perfect to house all 10 wood types here. But in order to display them, I need to, show the stairs here. And with this chimney finished, this main portion of the build is done. All that's left to do is this little offshoot here. Alright, so this is the general outline of the outer portion of this build. Next thing I'm going to do is make a roof alternating between full blocks and stairs. I think I'm going to have archways in the middle here too. Next thing I got to do is finish out this roof. I'm going to do this with oak. I think as far as this goes, it's almost done. I'm just gonna grab some extra logs and start just dotting them around. I think I need some extra ornamentation, perhaps some rails and ladders. Cool, I think we are done with this build. To finish this build, I set down a lodestone and then made my way out to find the remaining wood types. Oh yes, no way! There's a jungle! Oh my gosh! Okay, those are 2 wood types checked off the list. Please be a mango swamp. No way. I am super happy with how this turned out here. I just finished chopping down some trees and I come back to this site. So, yeah, I got no more villagers now. The next thing to work on is the actual trading hall itself. And with all of this wood, it should be no problem trying to build this thing. So I guess let's just get straight to it, shall we? This quarter of the build here, I'm gonna hold off on doing the other 3 until I fill in a wall that I am happy with. I don't think it's going to be too complicated. I think it'll just be a regular windowed wall. So I got all the pale oak in the wall here, and now all I got to do is just dress it up a little bit. Maybe something that looks a little bit like... That was probably a terrible transition, but it is more finished now. The front needs some work. I'm thinking of adding maybe a big archway or, I don't know, something. The sides, though, are looking pretty good. I think I just want to add some lanterns in the middle here, and then that's kind of it. On top of each of these stairs, I'm going to add a stripped log, and I'm thinking of 2 separate archway designs, one for this log to this log, and then another one for this log to this log. So I think in the middle, I want to add upside down stairs on either side, and then maybe a slab in the middle. And then I'm also going to have a larger archway like so. Perfect. So this is kind of the smaller archway design. So there's kind of like a small arch and a big arch. All right, now it's on to the larger archway portion. And I think I'm going to start it very similar to how I did the smaller ones, with a stair and a slab. Except I think on this slab, a trapdoor would work better transitioning into another slab. Maybe I need another slab under these ones even. Like this. Then this goes into a full block, and then I'll have an upside down stair in the middle. Doesn't look too bad. I might want some spruce trapdoors underneath this one though. Kind of going like so. Yeah, that looks really good. Now I just need to build up the larger archway, just like so. And now I gotta fill this in with the other things. I reckon I have like a little hole in here as well. Maybe a fence will look good in that. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Yes, that looks pretty darn cool. I think some lanterns are due on in a few places. But other than that, I am really happy with the shape and how it looks. I think it's better going with like this triple arch design rather than a single massive one. Now I just gotta make some supporting beams going all the way across here. Now that all of these beams have been put in, now I just need to add some stairs. And on top of this beam, and I guess this beam as well, I'm going to add spruce slabs as well as spruce trapdoors, alternating between the two. And there we go, this is how the roof is looking, and I think it's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Now I gotta think about what to do with the inside here. I think first things first, I'm gonna add a spruce floor. Right, so now that this floor has been put in place, I'm gonna make a little bit of a better entranceway. Brilliant! I like the way this looks. For starters, I'm gonna have a pillar going all the way up in 3-block increments, all the way up until this middle portion here, which I will get to later in this video. And so now that these are in, I think I can implement the second level here. Right, I think I'll work on the staircase later, but for now, I'm just going to focus on one cubicle. So I think I'm going to have it fairly similar to all of the other ones, or to all the other walls, and kind of be like this. It looks a little bit prison-like, but bear with me for a second. And now with this door, it should be kind of done. Now, I'm not a big fan of how this looks on its own. I'm gonna have to dress it up on the sides here. I think I can add some stairs like so. Maybe even stairs above as supports with spruce fences in the middle. I'll have it kind of extend like this outwards, and then I need it to kind of slope in a bit. Trapdoors like such. So does that look good? I think that looks fine. Yeah, I think I'll stick with it for now. I'm not sure if I'll keep it or not, but this is simple enough to repeat all the way throughout and it won't get boring. So let me just copy this over. Yeah, so I've repeated this on the bottom 4 times and I quite like it. So now it's time to move on to the top layer. I need to make a staircase first and foremost, so let me work on that. For this staircase, I want it to start here, then kind of wrap up around to here, like this. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now I just need a bit of support in the middle here. Nice, I like that. Then I'll have a full block and then some stairs and then trapdoors. Nice, I think this looks quite good and is very functional as well to get to the top. I hope the villagers can figure this one out. Now I'm just gonna add supports on all of the solid slabs, add slabs on top of the supports, and finally add fences between everything to connect it all up. This is now one side pretty much complete. So now all I gotta do is just copy this side over to this side. There we go. It is now done. Both sides are complete. The next thing that I have to do is build up a roof and connect both of the sides together. For this roof connecting section, I think I'm just going to use a bunch of slabs connected together. I think this is it. That's all that it's going to be. All I gotta do is just continue this design all the way across this roof here. Perfect. This is what the roof is looking like, and I think it looks pretty good. Now that I've successfully completed 1/4 of this build, I just need to copy this over 1, 2, 3 times. Good heavens, what was a small transition for you was much work for me, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, everything is now done. Well, everything. I mean, all of these bits are now done. Right, so I just finished planting some sugarcane, but I was going around and collecting some when I saw something quite interesting close by. And let me tell you, if this has what I hope it has, this will definitely be my saving grace to my villager problem. I thought I saw an igloo somewhere. Aha, there it is over there. This igloo is much, much closer than the village that was over yonder that way. There is a chance that igloos can spawn with villagers in the bottom. Now, I don't know if this one is that. It might just be, you know. I see the stone bricks. Yes. Now all we gotta do is cure my guy. Chuck it and get him with a gap. Alright, cool. Wow, that is much louder than I thought it would be. Anyways, now we just gotta wait a little bit of time for this guy to heal. Oh, there we go. It's all done. That didn't take too much time. Next thing on the list to do is get him out of here and into a boat. Somehow. Can they climb ladders? Go up the ladder, buddy. Please and thanks. Please and thank you. So as long as one of you gets in there, should go up as soon as you start jumping. Alright, come on guys. It's not that hard. I don't think I can't with this. This is ridiculous. Maybe I can hit these guys. I don't know. Man, oh man. Yes, okay wait, this is perfect. This means you can go up the ladder. Yes, yes, he's going up. Oh my goodness. Okay, now we gotta do it one more time. Push you a little bit more. Boom, 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 boom. Perfect, oh my goodness. Great, now the carpet's clear, the guys are free to move out. And, well, that was simple. So now I gotta lead this boat here, and hopefully all should be hunky-dory. My lead broke. Get rid of that lead momentarily while I get rid of this dumb scaffolding. Why do you always get stuck on these path blocks? They are in the wall. Oh my goodness, that was difficult. I'm sure not as difficult as getting them from the other village though, so I am grateful for that. Now what I'm gonna do, I think, is I'm gonna set up a very small villager breeder. Right, so this villager breeder is going to be the simplest of simple villager breeders. I looked up a tutorial on how to make it, and it is like stupid easy. I'll link the tutorial in the description. It's made by a guy named Zinji. Thank you very much to this guy. Let's just get this thing built and get the villagers in it, and start the process of filling up this build with some villagers. So this thing is basically completely done. The only thing that I have to do now is just add the villagers. It's perfect timing because night is falling now, so all I gotta do is just break the boat and let them go up. Where are they going? You know, y'all are supposed to go into the beds that I have over there for ya. Oh my goodness, am I gonna have to lure them over with beds? Yes, okay, he is making his way. This guy is just confused, I don't know what's going on. Okay, I think this guy has figured it out as well. Now all I gotta do is just chuck them some bread, and they'll breed, hopefully. Well, while these guys are breeding, I think I'm gonna work on these staircases. Because I know that there's staircases on that side, but I also want a big staircase on this side as well. Yeah, I'm liking that, so let me just copy that over on everything else. Alright, all of my staircases have been complete. Good news is, there are many grown-up villagers in here. Now what I need to do is try and get one of them out. So if I just run over and place the boat like so, and maybe push it in a little bit. Nice, I got two. You get in the boat. Perfect. Alright. You better not get in the boat. You are my chosen guy. So come on, man. Okay, Lectern is in the place. Okay, buddy. I might have to lock him in, because... Wait, what do you have? Oh! No shot that just happened. Okay. That is a pretty exorbitant price if you ask me. But it's mending and it didn't take that long, so I'll take it. Excellent. And I'll place another lectern in there so that when you... Oh, Unbreaking 3 and a bookshelf trade. What is going on? I am so blessed with these trades. I have another grown villager. Time to make him a Fletcher. Sticks. Oh, arrow trade. Okay, I'm definitely doing the arrow trade then. Arrow of regeneration. That sounds kind of counterintuitive. Here we are. The first bottom half of this build is almost completely full of villagers. You'll notice a few changes that I've made. First thing is that there is a sign above each villager house thingamabob, just to indicate what job they have, and if they have an important trade, like, you know, all of the librarians have their specific book that they're selling on this sign as well. For the librarians, and actually every villager pod for that matter, there's also blocks underneath them here. This is to indicate, like, more visually, rather than going up and looking at the sign, what the villager job actually is. And the amazing thing about these blocks in front of the librarians is that they're bookshelves, or bookcases rather, and you can put books inside of them. So I've traded with this mending villager a little bit, and I've gotten a bunch of mending books, 6 you'll see, and I'm just putting them in the bookcase so that if I need a mending book, I can just walk up and boom, there we go, mending book acquired. You'll also see that I have a number of different blocks here in different jobs. I have been slowly and steadily filling this thing up. Really need this guy to be upgraded. I can't afford it. I have such little emeralds. Alright, this is going to be the grind for emeralds. I'm gonna go back to the stick trading. This is going to be riveting content, but it must be done. I have been cutting trees down for the past hour and a half, but it has yielded quite a lot of wood. So I'm gonna go trade this and hopefully I get a ton of emeralds from it. Oh my goodness, sorry, I was watching a video, but we finally got efficiency 5. Holy smokes, I am so surprised by that. Man, I just cut down a tree with efficiency 5, and oh my goodness, it is such a privilege to be able to do this so quickly. Like, oh my gosh. And just like that, the Mega Taiga has been conquered. That took what? Let me check my recording really quick. That took less than a minute to do. That is absolutely wild rates. I have finished getting all the possible enchantments that I can get from villagers, except for one, and that's density 5. And just to give you guys a little bit of taste of how long each of these has taken, I'm going to record this bit, because I mean I've been getting them all without recording. So let me just go to my statistics really quick and show you how many times I've mined a lectern. So it's 851 so far, which already is quite a bit, but not as much as some people I think. I think I've gotten really good rolls from the villagers, but one more to go, so 851, remember that number. Alright, here we go, buddy. Don't let me down. No shot. Oh my goodness, that makes me so happy. Give me the trade, please, and thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're done. I can check that off the list. That didn't actually take as long as I was expecting. That only took about 10 minutes. That took 10 minutes? Are you joking? That was like barely anything. Hold on, what's my statistics at? 979 minus 851. That was only 128 tries. Wow, that was definitely not as many as I was expecting. This is the last villager that is going into place here. Then I'll be taking down that villager breeder thing, because I won't need it anymore, because all of the positions will have been filled, which is super exciting. And what do you know? I have every single enchanted book in this villager trading hall, along with 2 of every single villager job that there is. I'm set up pretty darn well, if you ask me. There is one more thing that I want to do though, and I mean, as you'll notice, there's like a million librarians just running around, and the only way that I can tell who they are is if I open up their trading menu and actually check what book they have. I took it upon myself to look at the list of enchants and make names, unique names, for each of these villagers. So each name is going to correspond to the trade that they have. Here are a few of my favorites just so that you know what I'm talking about. The guy that trades projectile protection books is going to be named Neo. like Neo from the Matrix, for obvious reasons. The guy that trades regular protection books is going to be named Adam, because Adam, being foreign first, is the protector of the household. And the guy that sells Thorns books is going to be named Groot. If you would like to be the name of one of the villagers, just leave a comment with which enchantment you want to be trading and your name, and I will stick you up on the villager. That being said, my next task is to get better stuff. It's looking pretty dire right now. So yeah, the next thing I'm going to do is just level up my armorers, weaponsmiths, and toolsmiths. Our first diamond axe trade. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Yes, our first pieces of armor, and dang, these boots are kind of crazy. There we go, we unlocked all of the armor pieces. Now what's left to do is actually buy all of the stuff. And in order to buy all this stuff, I made sure that I had plenty of emeralds to spare. How did I get all these emeralds? Well, I did some mining, you see. Not mining underground, but mining of trees. And to show you, let's check my stats, and spruce logs are the #1 block that I have mined. And oh boy, I've mined a lot of them. Right, so I'm gonna start with my tools. So in order to make sure that I have like the best tools possible, I just gotta look at all the villagers that actually sell the pickaxe, which is what I'm starting with. I gotta make sure that I get the best deal I can. So this guy is selling a pickaxe for 21 emeralds. And this guy is selling a pickaxe for 27. So of course, I'm gonna come over to this guy and buy the 21 emerald one. Now, once that is done, I'm gonna head over to some of my librarian villagers and grab some things. Namely, mending, unbreaking, efficiency, and silk touch. Now I gotta come over and grindstone this bad boy. Then I come over to my anvil and start combining. And there we go. This is my new pickaxe, and it is looking quite nice, if I do say so myself. Now all we gotta do is just repeat this until I have all of the necessary tools. So let's get to it. And these are all of the tools that I have acquired, and they all have perfect enchantments. Yes, I even got the diamond hoe. Next thing on the list is to get armor, because I'm still in poor peasant iron armor, so let's change that. And just like that, all of our armor and tools are completely finished. So let's take our iron set off, and let's throw on the new set. Yeah, this looks super, super cool. Anyways, now that I have great stuff and perfect enchantments, it's time that I finally finish off this build. The first part is gonna be a dome, then there's gonna be like a cylindrical shape on top of that, and then there's going to be a final tower on top of that cylinder. I hope you can kind of visualize with me, but that's what we're going for. So the first thing to do is start on this dome, so let's do it. Alright, I'm done the framing of this dome, and now all I gotta do is fill it in, so let's do that next. And with that, the dome is now complete. It is time to move on to this first cylinder. with this lightning rod, the structure is officially done. Let's take a step back and just look at this thing and appreciate it. Yeah, I think this thing looks pretty darn sick. Even from a distance by my starter base, you can see the peak of this thing. It's so cool. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to keep all of the librarians in their own respective pods because, well, all of the villagers actually, and this is because they're not really staying where I want them to stay, unfortunately. Oh gosh, I just hit the golem. Thank goodness for Prop 4, otherwise I would have been toast there. Now, there's not gonna be any villagers wandering around, unfortunately. But the good thing is, they're all safe and sound in each of their pods, and I can find them when I need them. The next thing I want to work on is adding a little bit more depth to this floor, because it's looking pretty darn boring. Let me just try some design really quick. How does this floor look? Does it look too busy? Maybe I have just this big bar. That doesn't really look right, though. I think this is what I'm going to roll with. It looks a little busy, I might change it, but I think this is good. Now, all I gotta do is copy this over to all the other ones. Okay, I think this looks pretty darn good. The next thing that I want to add is some sort of centerpiece that has a bit of storage, and maybe even something that will give us access to the upper portion of this build. Who knows? For now, I'm just gonna have this outline here. Then I think I'll add some walls up like this. After that, I'm gonna start working on the roof arches, which are very uncomplicated, by the way. They're literally just, I think, the same thing that I did for my starter base. Now that that's done, I think I'm going to add some stairs up into this middle section, and I'll add some chests on all of these sides. I'm going to put slabs on top of these spruce logs. Now I'll go ahead and extend these by one more block each. Then I'm going to grab some stairs and cap it off like so. I'm going to put temporary blocks in between each of these connections as well, just so that I can put a pale trapdoor in the middle. Now we're going to break these temporary blocks, and now I'm going to put some more blocks right here in between each of those. Then to finish it off, I'm going to put some stairs in the middle like this. Now I'm just putting some slabs on top of the trapdoors, and I think as soon as I fill these in with water, it'll look pretty good. There we go. With that, this middle portion is pretty much done. There is one small addition I want to add to this centerpiece here, and you might know what that is, depending on, your game knowledge. But it is something that is going to help me get all the way up there, and it's going to be pretty spectacular. For now, I think I'm going to leave it like this. There's enough storage here to store all the emeralds I need, and doesn't look too bad in the process. Alright, I've been inside these walls for a little too long for my liking. What I want to do now is go to a trial chamber and find a mace, along with the mace enchantment, of course. In order to do that, I need to run over to my cartographer. Now finding this thing should be super simple. It seems as though the trial chamber is right under here. Here we are, the trial chamber. There is a baby zombie spawner. Oh, I get rewards, hello. That's it, all I get is potatoes. What a crap reward. Trial key, that looks important. That looks important as well. Okay, it doesn't do anything. Ah, this is what I'm supposed to unlock. Diamonds, that's pretty good. Oh my goodness gracious. That's a trap, isn't it? Ominous bottles. Oh, I think I'm supposed to drink that. Ominous bottles. I think these are important. Let me drink one. This is supposed to make it harder, or what? Well, that seems to be a bit of a dead end that way, so let me just continue on this way and see what happens. Oh my goodness. No way that was it. Surely not. Oh, we're back here again. Why do you have armor? This is just chaotic here. Dang, he's taking a decent chunk of damage away from me here. Okay, calm down. Oh, that was a little stressful. More over here. Okay, wait, how do I do this? I think it's this one, right? That took barely... This is my second trial chamber. Okay, I'll take it. There is the mace. This thing is super cool, but it is unenchanted right now. I do want to add Windburst at some point, but I think I'll add the rest of the enchantments. First, I'll put Density. Then I'll put Unbreaking. And finally put Mending on this thing. But there we go. Here is the legendary mace. Just to give this a bit of a test, I'm going to use this little gazebo thing that I built a little bit earlier. But you'll notice I have a little update here. What I did is I added trapdoors on top of dispensers. There's a composter with a pressure plate in the middle. And if I just step on this, I launch all the way up to the top level here without even having to do anything. It is spectacular. Now, I want to try this on a golem, and we'll see what happens. Dang. Wow, that is pretty darn cool. Maybe once I go to the end, I'll try and one-shot the Ender Dragon. If y'all want to see that, let me know. Now that I've acquired the mace, I think next I'm going to move on to some more building. Opposite of the corner that I built my lumberjack house, I want to build some farmland on this side. And I want different levels to this farmland so that it's not just one big flat plot, because I think it'll look a little bit more interesting if it's tiered in some way. So let me just get to planning that, and I will be back with you in a second. Alright, so this is the general outline of the raised section. I was thinking of doing some other raised sections in between here, but the space just isn't big enough for that. So the next thing that I have to do is make an outline of the building that I want to put right in the middle here. And that building is going to be a windmill, of course. Because it's farmland. Makes sense. And now that my outline is in place, all I gotta do is just extend the pillars upwards. Sweet, now I think I'll just add the middle blocks. Now that I have the general structure of the walls, I'm just going to add a bit more ornamentation on the outside. Now the side detailing is partially done. Now what I got to do is move on to the roof section of this entrance piece and the perimeter of this first base chunk. I think it looks pretty good. Now, very similar to this tower, there's going to be multiple tiers, although it's not going to be quite as elaborate as that. Here we go. This is the second layer done. I also went ahead and kind of finished up the third layer as well. It's not that big. Now all I gotta do is add the roof on top of that last bit, as well as the windmill section of this build. And with that, the structure of this windmill is complete. Now I must confess, I did not design this windmill on my own. I saw it somewhere on Pinterest and tried to replicate it as best I could. So now all I gotta do is just furnish the inside and the build will be complete. And with that, the farming area is now complete with a nice windmill and loads of farmland. I do have to populate this farmland with actual crops and stuff. I do have these slab partitions here to let me know when to transition into a different type of crop. And now that all of the crops are planted, let me give you a brief tour of what's inside here. It doesn't look crazy different, but I just have storage for all of the crops that I'm going to harvest. So here we have wheat, beetroot, potatoes, cactus, carrots, and sugarcane. Up to the next level, we have just some outlook spots that we can see all of our farmland. Pretty nice. On the third level, we have a little bit of a bedroom area. And finally, the fourth level is yet another lookout, not at the crops, but at the land outside. I think that this area looks pretty spectacular from down below as well as up top. And the windmill in the middle is really the icing on the cake for me. Now the next thing that I want to do is work on the animal pen area. What I want to do for storage is make kind of a barn. Now there's not going to be any animals in the barn, I'll do that later. But for now, I just want to get the barn done. So as always, just going to make a nice outline, and I will get back to you once I have progress. So I'm thinking this is the general shape that I kind of want. It's going to be a little bit more of a domey roof. Let me just put in some walls and we'll see how it looks. Here is what the walls are kind of looking like. And before I go any further, I want to kind of complete this roof section so I can finish up the upper wall here. And there we go. That is the archway done. Just taking a look. It's not bad. Let me fill that in really quick with some regular planks and things. Yeah, I reckon that looks not too bad. I'll add some fences on the sides here, but that looks pretty good. So let me just complete that on the other side and finish filling in that roof. The roof is now complete and the main structure is pretty much done. That's all I have to do. Now I just gotta fill this in with, storage and things, and I'm pretty much there. Now I'm gonna have kind of silo looking things. And they're going to be 2 by 2, basically like this. Then I just add some stairs, repeat this on the other side. Now I gotta add some blocks corresponding to what it actually is. So this will be sheep, which is white terracotta. Cows will be brown looking terracotta, I guess. It's just regular. Chickens will be yellow terracotta, and pigs will be pink terracotta. In theory, I would have all other colors of wool here, but I don't really have that set up right now, so I'll hold off. Alright, so before I place in any chests, I just want to kind of prep the area and make the silo structure, I guess. It's not going to be anything fancy. I'm just going to add ladders here just to make it a bit easier to climb up and down, but going to be very, very simple. So this is kind of the silo-y look I'm going for, and once the chests get in here, it's going to be a lot of storage, I can tell you that much. The silos are now completely finished. Well, almost. I still need to fill this in with the wool color. But other than that, the inside is completely finished, and I am pretty happy with how this storage is looking. Now that this build is officially completed, I want to move on now to the animal pens here. I made these a little while ago, and they've kind of just been sitting housing all of the animals that I could possibly need, really. But I do want to update this a little bit and maybe just add some more around here with maybe some more lanterns and things like that. But the main thing is I need a place for all 16 wool colors in addition to the 3 other mobs that I want to actually store in here. And I think that is the partition. So then there's going to be logs here as well as here. And that's kind of that. That's it. So these are kind of the sizes that I'm looking at. Not very large at all. But that is totally okay. I'm not gonna lie. It's totally fine. They don't need to be humongous. They just need to be functional. So I guess to increase the function, I guess on every long side, I'll add an entrance here. And there we go. That's gonna be the entrance design. Very simple, very easy. Now I'm just gonna do that for the rest of these and throw the animals in it, and I'll see you after that's done. Now all of the animals are in their pens, and it is looking pretty good. All the sheep are still white. That's not going to change for a little while. I do have a few dyes. I want to have all of them so I can get the color scheme correct. In any case, the next thing that I got to do is make a pathway and basically spruce up the entire area the same way I spruced up all the other areas. So yeah, let's do it. Wow, just spamming bone meal everywhere added a lot to this area, I'm not gonna lie. Seeing this tall grass peeking through the fences like that is quite a nice touch. With that, this area is pretty much done. I'm thinking I should maybe add some of these stone wall things to the path just to make it a little bit more interesting. Let me go do that. And there we go. The lanterns are added. It's simple, but I think it adds a pretty nice touch. I've also fixed up these paths leading from the entrance here to the entrance of my trading hall. And with that, all these areas are done, except for one. That's this, and boy, this is looking barren compared to everything else. But if you notice, the theme that's going on in all of these quarters is that this is trees, that is animals over there, on my right is farmland, and so there's one thing missing, and that is a mining sector / quarter. I'm imagining we have some sort of quarry in the middle, and then we have a build kind of off to the side around it or something like that. I'm imagining the surroundings are just going to be like, I don't know, stones and things like that leading up to the quarry here in the middle. So yeah, as always, let me outline this build and yeah, I'll see you then. This looks very, very basic, trust me, but I'm imagining some sort of C shape. So now that this is in, let me just expand everything up. And now that these support beams are up, it's time, as always, to add the walls. All right, there are the walls done. Next thing I gotta do is work on the roof, and the roof is gonna be a little bit unconventional, so-called. It's gonna be like a C shape, and I'll show you when I'm done. All right, the roof and walls are pretty much done. I started the porch area here, and this is what the roof looks like. This is the strange shape that I was talking about. I did make little chimney things that campfires are ready to go on top of. But for now, I think I'm just going to finish the front porch area. Now that I'm done with my porch area, I've moved on to the interior of my build. So now all I'm going to do here is just build a nice staircase. And here we go. It's a pretty fantastic staircase. So now that the general structure of this build is complete, time for detailing. The interior has now been decorated, and it's time to move on to the middle piece, which is a crane. And I'm imagining it's going to look pretty cool. With this crane, this build is officially completed, and I'm super happy with how this turned out. I really love this crane feature in the middle here, and I did snag this design from Pinterest yet again. What I want to have is a bit of a quarry here, and then maybe some smaller like little divots in the ground and other places. But the main quarry should be here, and like the main mine entrance I want to make here, right in front of this house. I don't know, let me see, let me try something. So I made an outline that's very similar to the animal pen, but honestly, I think that coming up to this build, it looks good. And it fits in nicely with the rest of the aesthetic, I think. What I'm aiming for now, I think I'll just dig out a bit. Right, so now I think under each of these fences, I'm just gonna add an upside down stair. Now I'm gonna go down one more, and I'm gonna add another stripped log under every single stripped log. How does this look? Honestly, it doesn't look very supported, but I don't really want to bring down wood all the way to where I want to mine this. So I might just have to leave it at that. Now that this is kind of complete, what I'm going to do is just add a few craters here and there, and maybe add some boulders every now and then. And then after that, the area is pretty much done. So I've just been decorating this other gorge that I'm making, and I think something I want to try and do to make it look extra cool is to dig this one much deeper than I dug the other one. The other one is a bit of like a crater almost, but this I want to make more in the style of a ravine, and then I think I'll have some sort of bridge over top of it as the pathway to this. I think that would look really, really cool. And with that, this is my new ravine type area. It's kind of just a big dip, but it looks ravine-ish to me. And now you might be wondering, Connor, where did you put all of the resources that you mined out? That's a very good question. Let me show you. You'll notice that there's two of these platformy things on either side, and each of them serves a different purpose. This one is to house all of the blocks that I would find in the mine, and so I have all of my stone types, tough and deep slate as well. Over on this side, I have all of the surface level materials, so grass, dirt, gravel, clay, and sand. It's just a bit of storage because things were getting a little out of hand with my chest monster. And so with these two additions of storage, I can house all of the blocks I would possibly need for any future projects. So I am not quite done yet. You'll notice that I haven't added a path to the entrance of this house. Now, originally I was planning on adding some sort of bridge from this side all the way there. I'm not sure if that would look good or not. I think I'll have to... Let me try something and we shall see. Right, I think I have a pathway that I like. Now, from the side, I'm not sure if I'm sold. I have some supporting beams running all the way down, but I am not 100% about those. Also, this water is not supposed to be here. Now, I'm pretty happy with how this pathway's turned out. I just need to add another pathway through here and then add the final decorations on throughout this land. So I finished decorating my mining area, and now what I have to move on to is coloring my sheep. They're all white, which is not what I want. I'm just gonna grab some colors and yeah, start coloring them in. I just wrote in chat here all of the wool colors that I'm gonna need, and some of them are pretty easy. White, obviously. I have white. And so let me just scour through all of my chests and try and make as many of the colors as I possibly can. Sweet, I have almost all of the wool colors. The only thing that I'm missing is brown. And I believe the only way to get brown dye is with cocoa beans. And when I went to the jungle, I did not collect any cocoa beans. But anyway, I'm just gonna dye all of these sheep, all of these colors, and then I will go out for the final brown color. So I'm gonna start off from this corner and basically work all the way across. So starting off with these guys, I want them white. And they're already white, so that's good. Next is light gray, then gray, black, brown will be here in theory, then red, orange, yellow, lime, green, cyan, light blue, blue, purple, magenta, and pink. Wow, that is colorful. Next thing on the list, I need to grab brown dye. I gotta go back to the jungle. The only problem is, I don't remember where the jungle is. Yo, I found a jungle. I was literally just walking aimlessly, but here we are. I am so grateful. Hopefully I can find, aha, some cocoa beans. Are you grown up already? Perfect, I'll bring 2 home. And there we go. That is literally all I came here for. Here we go, home again, jiggity jig. I have my brown dye, and so the final color, there we go. All of my sheep are officially dyed, which means that this build is officially complete. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was as interesting for you as it was for me to build. Let me know what your favorite part of the build is, or any suggestions you might have. I am totally open to it. I will return with more videos in the future. For now, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.